even if workers return downtown a few days a week, city leaders know they need to attract foot traffic in different ways. But understanding where those efforts actually stand is tricky. Two recent studies help explain why. They each use very different ways to measure our activity downtown. And as Kent explains, neither of their measurement tools is perfect.
It might have been the beautiful weather, but the lunch hour in downtown Minneapolis today seemed to bring out plenty of optimists.
I think downtown is growing.
There's considerably more traffic this spring than there was last spring.
Those sentiments align with sunny numbers released by the Minneapolis Downtown Council last month, which found both employee building occupancy and workers returning to downtown in some capacity have ticked above 60%, while 70% of residents and 44% of suburban residents reported visiting downtown at least once a month, beating even pre-pandemic levels. But a new study from the University of Toronto School of Cities paints a much darker picture. Its latest Death of Downtown Recovery rankings has Minneapolis falling all the way to number 59 out of 63 North American cities, reporting that we're seeing just 41% of the activity that we saw prior to the pandemic. These are two very different studies gathered in very different ways. The Downtown Council's numbers showing a big boost in visitors was based on survey data, while the University of Toronto tracked cell phones in a very specific area of downtown. And all of that matters a lot. For example, though cell phone activity in a certain area can be reliably tracked, the University of Toronto study only measured the two downtown zip codes with the highest employment density. And by drawing the line down Hennepin Avenue, that cut off some of the city's biggest visitor draws, like the Convention Center, First Avenue businesses, Target Center, and Target Field. Not to mention the entire North Loop neighborhood, which has seen some of the biggest business and housing growth.
I work at the Armory.
Gabe Nielsen works at one of the only two major venues within the borders of the study, the other being US Bank Stadium, which also might explain why the mobile device activity listed for Minneapolis has appeared to spike during the past two football seasons.
People are here. I mean, we've never been busier at Armory in terms of the events that we put on. That's been fantastic.
It also helps explain the differences with that Downtown Council data, which found that attendance for entertainment and sporting events has been approaching 2019 levels and driving visitors. And as far as those surveys, they come from residents who weighed in every other month from May 2021 through November 2022.
We got all of our data from a third-party source to make sure that we got honest and accurate data focused on behaviors of people using downtown in terms of frequency of visits.
But when it comes to overall foot traffic in this specific area, the cell phones show there is still plenty of room to grow.
They're coming out slowly but surely. I think it's getting there.
Getting there's good, and as Kent mentioned, not measuring the big attraction places, well, that would certainly skew a study one way. For one more example of why those digital borders matter in this cell phone study, the University of Toronto found that overall downtown areas with strong tourist and art sectors have come back the fastest. Shows that in the Downtown Council data too, and that ranked us higher when you factor those in.